Good evening, everyone. Welcome to your City Commission study session. Please turn off or silence all cell phones during the meeting, including myself. Meetings are available now for viewing pleasure on YouTube. So we're going to have a fun agenda tonight. We're going to have a study session. Would it be okay with everyone here on the commission if we switched around 2 to 3? We moved up Leavenworth Attainable Housing to go second, and then put K-5 modernization third.
Yep.
Yes. Okay with that? Okay. All right, well, let's begin with the presentation from St. Mary. I saw this. There she is.
First City University.
Yes, that's right. First City University. We should have had you bring us some swag.
I could have. We have swag.
I know, I've seen it. I love it.
Then the towels that say First City U.
Oh, I love that.
That's cool.
Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure to be here. Happy to report that we had another record class of 300 new students. So as of right now, we are just shy of 1,600. We're, as of last Monday, 1,598.
Wow.
They could have found 2 more.
Yeah,
I
they
thought.
could have.
Yes, so housing on campus, we are full again. So we are very grateful for our partnership with Condotels. So we have about 21 students over there.
Wow.
So they've been very gracious to us, and they're the older students and some of the graduates, so they've been trained. Academically, our accelerated nursing program, which happens in 1 year, we're going to take that hybrid so that we can better serve the needs, especially in the rural parts of our state. So they will be able to stay home and take the courses. They are synchronous remote. That's a fancy word for Zoom. So some of the courses are Zoom, some of the courses are truly online, and then they come to campus for the checkoffs of their clinicals. So hopefully that will provide us the ability to meet the needs of more students, especially those across the state. So we're excited about that. Nursing pass rate is 97%. Doctorate in physical therapy pass rate is 100%. So
Yay.
things are doing quite well there. We're in the process of exploring moving our master's in school counseling to an educational specialist. As we get accredited, they're going to want another 30 hours. So right now it's 30 hours, they want 60, and that's for the CREP accreditation. And to do that, we might as well go ahead and give them their doctorate. So to be an educational specialist. So for the people who have it, they'll bump them up the pay raise in the school system. So trying to meet the needs again there as well. We continue to push active learning. We now hold academies in the summer because I grew up in the high schools, so I have a teaching degree, but most of our faculty never did. So they come to us with a PhD and have never been in the classroom, except as a TA. So now we are teaching them to teach in the summer. And the focus is on active learning because we know that the worst thing you can do is preach at people.
Yeah.
Priests ought to know that. We don't listen after 2 minutes. So we're doing that. One of our big one is our e-trading team. The e-trading team is doing well. We have created a separate LLC for our e-trading team, and so we're now actually trading other people's money.
Wow.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on lawyers to create the corporate veil between St. Mary and St. Mary Investments. So the students have the ability to trade not just the money we had in there, but other people, investors who have given us their money to trade. So that's exciting. Spiros Cup continues to be a very good educational opportunity for our students. It's the coffee shop on campus, and it's totally student-run. So they have to figure out how much milk to buy and when to buy it, how to advertise, what to do with HR issues when somebody doesn't show up to work. So great training field. Our MBAs also did very well with one. It's called Mike's Bike, and it is a national simulation where you create a business to run a bike store. And our students did so well in the MBA, and it pulls together everything they know, that they beat it out of the nationals and are now going to compete globally since it's a global competition. Wow. So that team did very well too. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for coming out to our FBA event.
It was amazing. I was going to mention that.
We appreciate there. They also went to nationals. We like to say that we have academic nationals as well as athletic nationals. So our cybersecurity team is doing very well. The coursework there, we are one of the few that now have both the software lab and the hardware lab. So the software lab is where they're actually online and they're programming, examining programming, and then we have the hardware where they take computers apart and put them back together and find out where those kinks are. A lot of what they do is the professors hide things in them or jimmy them, and the students have to figure out what happened. So we like that. Criminology, we're very grateful for our partnership with the Leavenworth Police Department. Two of them, they were actually our graduates. They came out and led the active shooter training for our criminology students. Now, they were little pop guns, but we had to tell everybody it's a drill, it's fun, they're learning, so they were down. And if you've been in St. Mary's basements, we have lots of fun tunnels to play in. And the police taught them how to clear a room, what this means. So it was an awesome educational event because it also helps students say, I don't want to be a policeman. I can't handle this stress. And others thought, this is cool, this is what I want to do. So great on-hands learning. Let's see, we also do criminal investigation, and they set up forensic investigations. Our first simulator, his name was Ernie after Ernie Straub, now belongs to criminology, and so they create crime scenes for the students then to figure out what happened. So they teach them how to write reports, how to do a forensic investigation, and so poor Ernie dies on a regular basis. Our nurses, we're very grateful for our first responders. They helped us simulate a mass casualty training for our nurses last week. So we had to warn everybody it's not a mass casualty, it's another training and educational event. So we really appreciate these strong relationships with the people of the town. It's very helpful for us. All of our science labs are now updated. We will have the blessing of the last chemistry lab in December, and then all of our labs are completely up to date. Wonderful. So we're excited about that. We're building a new simulation for interdisciplinary simulation for nursing, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. It's about a $2 million project, about a quarter way through raising those funds. And again, it will give us state-of-the-art teaching opportunity for our nurses, physical therapy, and occupational. This one will also have dimmed lighting, because what we have now, we don't teach our students to nurse in the dark. So when you're in the hospital, you really don't want them to hit the overhead lights. So even thinking of those small details of putting in dimmer lights so that we can teach them that as well. So we're looking forward to that. Our prison education program continues to grow. So we now at the Lansing Correctional Facility, both inside and out. We are at what I still call the disciplinary barracks, inside and out. And we're at the federal prison, and we're working with them to move to the camp. So any ceremony we hold on campus, we also take into the prisons. So this year we did 8 matriculation ceremonies. So that's how we welcome our new students in. We do it in the chapel with candles, so we have big sets of turn-on candles. We bring our flags and our regalia. We were able to hold 2 graduation ceremonies now. And again, we go in with our full regalia to celebrate what they've accomplished. So very excited about that. You've noticed that the pawn shop is now an athletic facility, the further pawn shop. We were at the Immaculate Conception Grade School, and so that's been torn down. It's now a parking lot, so we needed a new home for our wrestling team. So our wrestlers are over there. It's a split level, and so the wrestling is on the bottom section, and on the top section will be where we do weightlifting and training. So we're moving that along. They're over there. We're functional. It's got showers, and it's not cute yet, but it's coming. I leave on Thursday for Florida for the Kansas City, or for the Nationals for our cross country team. Both our teams, the boys placed first and the girls placed second. The boys have won the conference now for 13 years in a row. Wow. So we won't talk about the football score. Our men's basketball team is receiving votes, so they're doing very well as well. Again, we thank you for the use of the tennis courts. We partner with the city for that, and then the youth basketball happens in the Ryan Sports Center on Saturdays and Sundays during January and February. So again, a very positive
That's good.
relationship there. And if you're available, our Buffalo is done, and the Buffalo now has a place right outside of Xavier Theater. So we'll be dedicating that. It's called Artistic License, and he has we think it's a she, artistic license plates, on December 4th. So, and I would invite you to come to our Christmas band concert on December 3rd, and Christmas Vespers. If you've never been to Christmas sung Vespers, That's December 7th in the Annunciation Chapel at 7. That is one of our finest events, I think. And I do not sing, so. And we will be doing graduation on December 13th.
Wow, you have a full plate.
We do. We're off and
Did I
running.
see you playing basketball?
We had granny basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned there is leagues of grannies, and you have to be 50 or older to play. And some of our alums have a team in Kansas City, so they came up and tried to teach us to play. We were very bad. You play 6 people at a time. You can't touch people. You can only dribble twice. You can't jump. So all the things I know how to do were out
Saw
the
they were
window.
wearing,
Rules.
the other team was wearing
Yeah.
oven mitts. Were they wearing oven mitts?
Yes, well, they played our freshman girls team,
Oh, okay.
so they made them put on oven mitts.
See, it's funny. It's funny.
So we were raising money for our Guardian Angel Fund.
Oh.
The Guardian Angel Fund is a fund that students who have done everything, they've taken out all their loans, they have a job, and they're passing, and they're working, can apply to that, and then we will match them 2 to 1 to help
Oh,
pay
wow.
down their bill.
That's awesome.
So to close that gap.
Mm-hmm.
So to keep education affordable for all our students.
Thank you for doing that.
So our basketball skills were very bad.
Well, the pictures were great. The pictures were great.
Do you have any questions for me?
I just want to comment how great it is to hear the collaboration between the university and the city. We're so entwined, and thank you for listing all those things. Because I think those are important that we support each other. And when we got a presentation from the CVB, it's amazing how many people St. Mary brings to our community and stays in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, shopping in our downtown. And so you are definitely an economic engine for our community. And so I love that we have this great partnership, and I hope that it continues. As well as just, again, compliments to the Future Business Leaders of America there. They welcomed me. We did a networking event, and networking is always awkward because you don't know people, but I think I walked out of there with 30 new friends, so, and lots of LinkedIn, new friends on LinkedIn, so thank you for what you do, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Good.
Any more questions?
No, it's
It's
always good to know what you're
Congratulations.
doing.
Yep,
Thank you.
on your upcoming retirement.
Yeah, when is that?
Probably June.
Oh, okay, we got you for a while. Good.
Yeah, I'll come back one more time.
Okay.
But thank you all.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
All right, Leavenworth Attainable Housing Abandoned Housing Project Presentation. That's a lot of words. I'm excited to see you guys again.
First time to be here.
Welcome back.
Logged in and you can sit
Okay.
here and just get it in.
Last time we saw you was on the tour bus. Nancy and I. Well, you've probably seen them more because you're on the board, right?
Couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And I have it right in front of me.
It's a great password.
Oh, my
Very
goodness.
secure.
Right.
Marvin.
No.
Having it on the Post-it notes, not the best.
Okay.
She can do the whole alphabet backwards.
Right. Well, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Kim Portillo, Director of Planning and Community Development. So I have here with me today representatives from Neighborhood Legal Services and Leavenworth Attainable Housing. So a few months ago, summertime, Greg Lombardi reached out to us as staff with a program that he was operating in Kansas City, Missouri, essentially working with abandoned and blighted properties to rehab those into low-income single-family homes. So he kind of gave staff an explanation and overview, and I know some of you met with him as well and had a little bit of an explanation of what was going on. But as they start moving more into their program and doing what the work is that they're doing, we wanted to get them in front of you all so that you have an understanding of what's going on. If you get any questions, you're informed. And with that, I will pass it over and let them introduce themselves and their program.
Hi.
Sure. I'm Greg Lombardi with Neighborhood Legal Support of Kansas City. And we have Sister Amy Wilcott with DePaul Leavenworth Attainable Housing, who has very generously ceded a lot of her time to me, for better or for worse. And so I'm going to dive in. It's a really tough act to follow, but I'm going to talk about something I'm really excited about. And I've got a PowerPoint for you guys, which I'll dive into right now. Okay. So for the last 8 years, I've been doing an Abandoned Housing Act project in Kansas City, Missouri. And so through that project, we've been taking houses that look like this and turning them into houses that look like this. And this to this, and to this to this, and this to this. And this. So in short, we convert blind and abandoned houses and apartment buildings into good quality, affordable housing. We currently have 66 cases pending to convert 135 units of blighted housing in Kansas City to good quality housing. And we focus on community development, or as focused community development. We start with a small area and build out from there. We started in a single neighborhood in Kansas City called the Likens neighborhood. We've been in there for 7 years now, and we started with a 9-block area which had probably 60 blighted properties in it. Within 18 months, we had run out of properties to pursue in that 9-block area, so we expanded the project to about a 35-block area. We've run out of properties to take on there. We've expanded the project to the whole neighborhood, which is about 2,000 parcels, and we've run out of properties to pursue there. So it's ended up being a success, and again, we've turned houses like this into houses that look like this. So impact of the project, it saves the city the cost of demolishing properties, which in Kansas City is anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 a shot. It creates affordable housing. It obviously creates jobs for people who have to do the rehab work, and it reduces crime. In Likens, the neighborhood that we've been working on, violent crime is down 20%. That's complicated. There's more than one factor involved, but we strongly feel that we're part of that. And it just generally greatly improves the quality of life in the neighborhood. When you have a blighted house next door to you and nobody's doing anything about it, that can be really demoralizing. When something is done about it and a family moves in and you don't have to be worried about your kids walking in front of the house anymore, then you feel better about the world. And sometimes you go out and fix up your own house. So we've seen a lot of that happening. So in Missouri, there is a Missouri Abandoned Housing Act, which was adopted 33 years ago. And the year after that, the Kansas Abandoned Housing Act was adopted. But in Kansas, it's been very rarely used. In fact, I'm really not aware of any organization that's been doing it in Kansas. And so we're in a kind of a growth mode for our organization, and we're excited about the possibility and prospect of expanding into Kansas. And so you guys are our pilot project. And so anyway, to give you a little bit of background, cases are brought under the Kansas Abandoned Housing Act, and there's a citation for it. And there are simple requirements. The property has to be 2 years tax delinquent. It has to be unoccupied by anyone with a legal right to possess it for 90 days. And the plaintiff must be a Kansas not-for-profit corporation. Plaintiffs must have the means and ability to rehab the property. So that's not a lot of requirements. And they're also pretty darn simple to prove once you've found an appropriate property. So our project partner for the pilot project is Sisters of Charity and DePaul Leavenworth Attainable Housing. Our plan is to take on 3 houses, and back in June, I think it was, we came and did a tour of blighted properties. We spent some time talking with the DePaul Leavenworth folks, and they chose 3 houses for us to go after. Those houses are 426 Ottawa, which we refer to as the Butterfly House, because you can see the butterfly there. And
I forgot we named him.
Yeah.
that house is wide open, and people can get into it. This is 733 Pawnee. It used to be wide open, but fortunately, the city has boarded that up. Then 922 Osage, which we call the cat house, because there's a cat who greeted us when we went there. No
Many
other-
cats.
Okay. So, what happens to the properties, the way the process works, we have to give the owner of the properties at least 20 days notice before filing suit. We've done that. In fact, the 20 days ended, I think, on Monday this week. And so we are ready to file suit. That'll happen pretty soon. Generally, what happens is either the defendants default, which happens very frequently, or they show up and we give them the opportunity to rehab the house under court supervision. In Kansas City, we do that a lot by getting what's called a consent judgment against the property owner, or with the property owner agrees to, which sets out a basic scope of work they're going to do on the house and when they're going to get it accomplished. So they have deadlines for getting things done. If they don't meet those deadlines, we generally give them more time. And if they still don't meet those deadlines, then we go ahead with the Abandoned Housing Act case. Generally, I'd say 60 to 70% of the time, when an owner shows up, they actually end up doing the rehab work. And I mean, it's not like we're trying to take the house from anybody. We don't benefit from that. So if they're there, then and willing and able to actually do the rehab work, then they end up doing the rehab work. So timing of it, it generally takes about 4 to 6 months to get possession of the property in the case. Then the court gives us a right to inspect the property, actually go inside the property and develop a scope of work. And so a month after we get access to the property, we'll submit a scope of work to the court. The court will approve that, which again, by then you're probably 6 to 8 months in. And then the court gives us exclusive right of possession of the property. The owner throughout the litigation still has title to the property. But we have the right to possess it, or DePaul Leavenworth, or Sisters of Leavenworth will have the right to possess it. They will choose a rehabber, which is going to be DePaul Leavenworth Attainable Housing, and they'll do the rehab work. That process usually takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months, sometimes a little bit longer. So it's generally about a year from the filing to the completion.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really good. A year.
Yeah.
Because how long they've sat like that for years. So,
Yes, and that, I mean, we see that all over the place. Houses, I mean, in Kansas City, we work with houses that have been vacant for 10 years or more.
right.
Yeah.
So question, when the owners see that you're interested into the property, they get notified, do they try to sell you the property at that time period, or you just still move forward with the court process?
So sometimes they sell us the property. That's relatively rare. I mean, the most frequent results are either they default, because, I mean, they've let it get into really bad shape.
Correct.
Or they show up and wake up and go, okay, we're gonna do something about this. And sometimes they really do, and sometimes they don't. I would say in less than 10% of the cases, they actually solicit a bid or a purchase price from us.
Gotcha.
There have been a few times, and again, not a lot, where the owners just said, okay, you take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they have liens against them sometimes too, with
Yeah, so-
mowing and all that other stuff.
And we're fortunate on these that the only liens, to my knowledge, are the city assessments for cutting the grass.
Right. Okay.
And the outstanding taxes on the property. Okay, here's the big thing I know you want to hear about is the city's responsibility, which is virtually nothing. We are required to give you notice that the lawsuit is going forward, and then you step back and let it happen.
So the city don't have to prove anything after that, huh?
City doesn't have to do anything.
Wow.
So I think that there is a good chance that we will apply for CDBG funding to support the work. But other than that, there is no responsibility. So, and then we're looking forward to working with you.
Same.
So Sister Amy, you want to?
Well, I just wanted to add, I mean, I think DePaul Leavenworth Attainable Housing is grateful for the support of the city through the years of our existence. And I think that what we have planned in this Abandoned Housing Act really can change the face, certainly of North Leavenworth. I mean, we drove by many houses.
Yes, we did.
Now,
Yes.
we need to raise a little more money to do the things if we really wanted to have a larger impact. But I think that's very possible, and I think it can boost the sense of community and connection in North Leavenworth. And I've said it when I've come here before, but I grew up in that neighborhood, and the Sisters of Charity, that's where we came first. And so it's, I feel, deep roots, and I think for the good of the whole of the city and the area of Leavenworth, I think our ability to move forward with this really can have lasting impact. So we are committed to doing what we can do to assist our those who need homes. Affordable housing is not easy to find anywhere, and we need more homes. And so to see one sit abandoned and blighted when someone could be living in there and contributing to the city and helping themselves and helping others, count us in.
Yep.
It's great.
That's great.
And I gotta say, if the 3 houses work, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, then we're ready to do all of them.
Oh,
Got plenty.
okay, love it.
Yeah, we had
got
20, didn't, 21? Wasn't that how many?
Something like that. We
Yeah.
haven't even counted. Chris and I were gonna drive and count, you know, how many there are in the neighborhood, because we could transform.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes.
So if you know benevolent donors who want to help us, I'll leave my card.
No, I think it's a great program. I was wowed that day. I enjoyed the group. I enjoyed going to see the houses and you know, you see the potential that they were beautiful at one point. You see the
Sure.
potential that they had. So I think it's a great program and I'm excited about it.
The other addition is that Katie Killen from Habitat for Humanity joined us as well. And we have talked about, and we can look at, do we, attainable housing, expand, and is there an opportunity for our folks to move into home ownership, which is beyond what we currently do, but certainly on the vision on the horizon for us, also benefiting the people that we serve.
Good.
Any other questions? Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
I'll
Exciting.
actually add a little bit more,
Oh, okay.
if we could have just a quick second.
Yep.
So, one thing that didn't get mentioned, but that from a staff perspective, that I really appreciate is, like he said, city staff, we have virtually no responsibility. We are notified, and that's really it. And in some of our code enforcement cases that get to this condition, we have a really hard time prosecuting those because it may be 3 or 4 children who inherited the property and now they all live in different states,
Yep.
or it could be an LLC that we can't connect to an actual person. So through his process with the courts, they're actually able to clear all of that, and we're not having to track down who's actually responsible for that. So that helps. And then I'll also say that you have spurred some interest in other organizations, because I did actually receive a letter just this week from another group that is interested in doing this work. So,
Good.
there are some
More the
other
better.
Are they
groups
local?
out there looking at doing some rehab.
Are they
Yeah,
local?
I don't know the merits of that organization,
Okay.
but it was KC Housing something. So it may be somebody who, you know, heard what you guys were doing and they thought, oh, let me try and get something together. But if they're a legit organization, they'll have to, you know, put together that plan and prove that they have the funding to do it and all of that. So I guess that will remain to be seen, but it sounds like there is some interest in getting some rehab done.
Thank you.
awesome.
Yep.
So I see we have 44 seconds left, and so I will add one other thought on this, which is kind of a fun thought, is if you have situations, and this happens fairly regularly in Kansas City, where you have somebody who passes away and doesn't have a will or a trust, and they have 3 kids, and the 3 kids can't decide what to do with the property and can't get a probate attorney to clear up the title. A lot of times what happens is a property will get into disrepair, and it'll just get further and further into disrepair, and no child is going to spend the money to go through the probate process So the house really declines. The Abandoned Housing Act can be used to clear all those title issues away. So you can work with the family and have them choose the person who's going to be the rehabber and ultimate owner of the property. There may be a decision to give a share of the value of the property, maybe the appraised property after rehab is completed. You know, you can figure out a way of calculating what the other family members would get. And so you get a rehabbed house that the true owner gets to move back into. The family that house belonged to stays the owner of the house.
That's interesting.
So we're happy to do that as well.
Wow. You're full service.
Yes.
Helping hand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have a good
Very
night.
much.
Great job. Great thing,
No, 202. Okay, up next is K-5 modernization project update. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Do we have enough seats? We can bring one up.
Ready?
Ready? Are you ready?
We're ready.
We're ready.
Yeah,
How
good
are
evening.
you?
Thanks for having us out. My name is Jacob Dieter. I'm with PMC. So the PMC is a program management consultant. So we were hired on behalf of KDOT to help kind of staff augmentation internally for them. Stephen Cross, who's with KDOT here, is overall project manager, but I'm the project manager on behalf of KDOT. So Jeff and his team with Kimley Horn are doing the real work here in the design, but I'll give a brief overview of the job. So K5, which you're probably familiar with from 435 up to K7. This is a modernization project for KDOT, so it was selected through the last round of local consult a couple of years ago with a lot of public input and voice for the corridor, and that's kind of what propelled it into what's called the development pipeline. So that means the funding has been allocated for Jeff and team to do the preliminary engineering work. So right now we're in a discovery phase or a study phase of the project, basically kind of diagnosing the patient, if you will, looking at the problems, what needs to be fixed and that sort of thing. So with that, that's an intro. I'll turn it over to Jeff to kind of dive into some of the details.
All right, thank you, Jake. Again, Jeff McCarroll with Kimley Horn. Pleasure to be back in front of you. I was here a few years ago, if you recall, on the Priorities for Progress project that was going on, which this project actually came out of that. And if you'll recall, there was a lot of activity and a lot of support throughout the county to advance this at the local consult stage with KDOT. We're going to go through a couple things this evening, and this is a work session. We encourage any questions, so please feel free to interrupt me at any time. We're going to talk a little bit about traffic operations, just what's happening on the road today, both now and what it would be in 25 years if nothing else happens. So we want to understand kind of that future out there. And we want to look at that 25-year horizon so that we make long-term decisions that make sense. We're going to review some of the existing conditions, and by that I mean the physical conditions of the roadway. And if you've driven that, you know it's a little different of a road than a lot of those that are out there. And then we'll talk about our draft purpose and need, which is really what we're trying to define as, with this project, we complete this stage, what are we trying to answer? What are we trying to succeed and create a vision for? And then we'll talk about the next steps, because a lot still will be happening over the next 6 months or so. This isn't the last time we will be here talking to you. With that, we'll talk about traffic operations a little. And the map you have in front of you shows the level of service, if you will, on K5 today. And we're focusing on just K5 from 435 to K7. You've probably heard from traffic engineers in the past about levels of service. Maybe you're a public works director. It's simply a grade that we use from A to F. A being good, F being bad, just like in school. A being very little congestion, you're not really impeded by traffic much. F being you are congested, and a good description of that is when you go to a traffic signal, if you got to wait through 2 or 3 cycles of the signal to get through, that's level service F. So we would take a look at that here for the southbound in the morning and northbound, and basically what you'll see is that everything's operating at about a level service A or B out there today, just because we don't have that heavy of a volume. The condition of the road itself, with all the curves we have, actually restricts a lot of people from even wanting to drive this route. I think some of you remember when we had a big project going on here on K7 to the south, where things were constricted and we had some, everybody down to one lane each direction. K5 actually saw an increase in traffic as people shifted over to, but normally they find K7 a more attractive route. In the PM peak hour, very similar conditions, a few more locations at level service V as we move forward. And then we took a look, working with the regional models, to take a look what's going to happen over the next 25 years. And what we're seeing is we would expect K5, if it remained today what it is, to see an increase in traffic of somewhere around 15%. So that's not an insignificant growth, it's not a rapid growth either. K7 will continue to be the major route. The new Centennial Bridge will also attract a lot of folks as that gets constructed. As we take that forward to operating conditions, be it the intersections that are out there or the segments itself, we continue to see this road from a traffic perspective, as far as the flow of traffic, operating at about a level service A or B for most of the corridor. We also want to take a look at, again, the physical conditions of the roadway, and really take a look at what are those constraints that are out there. And they're numerous in this area. We have right-of-way in some locations that's about 40 feet or less. Typically on a road like this, you're going to see double or more of that. We've got federal and state properties, we've got cemeteries, we've got prisons. That makes it very difficult in some locations to acquire more right-of-way if we wanted to. It's not easy to get land from a cemetery. You can imagine that. We've got a railroad on the southern portions that's right directly adjacent to it as well. So we can't really widen towards that railroad. And then we've got some floodplains from the Kansas River going through this area. We also took a look at the physical condition of the road itself. Now, it's a relatively narrow two-lane. Lanes are typically 10 to 11 feet. You often like to see 12-foot wide lanes. So they're narrower than normal. We don't have shoulders for most of this corridor. We've got ditches right up against the roadway. And you'll see the next slide how this comes together. We took a look at the what we call super elevation, which is the engineer's way of saying how the road is banked around curves. And we've got some pretty steep banking in some areas. We've got locations on K5 in which the banking is actually in the wrong direction. So it's actually pushing you off the road instead of keeping you on the road. We've got a lot of curves out there that are...
Dead man's curve.
Yeah, that came up earlier today, yeah. We're not gonna say that, but yeah, that's well known there. We've got some other locations in which the safe speed is anywhere from 15 to 25 miles an hour. The posted speed limit is generally 45 to 50 miles an hour for most of this corridor. As you come into the city here, it does drop down. And when you put those factors combined, what you can see, probably not to a surprise, is that we've got locations where we have a lot of crashes occurring. And we talk about crashes in different ways. We talk about fatalities and serious injuries, those of which people are left with a condition after the crash. And then we've got a lot of non-injuries or minor injury collisions that occur, people running off the road. You might be aware, if not, this is a very popular route for motorcycles. There's a disproportionate amount of motorcycles, particularly on the weekends, who lose control of their vehicle and run off and strike something.
So, I'm sorry, what kind of time frame is that?
So this is over the past 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yeah. When we look at that, and one of the things we do is we try to correlate what's the crash rate. How many crashes that are occurring per the vehicles that are on there, if you will. And compare that to what we would expect for the area. K5 has a crash rate of 25 on fatal and serious injury rates per million vehicle miles traveled. On a facility of this nature, for a statewide highway, you'd expect something closer to about 2.3, or if it's a rural collector, about 7.5. So anywhere from 3 to 10 times what we would expect for this facility. The same happens when you look at all crashes as well. Again, a 4.7 rating versus 1.3 or 1.1, 3 or more times what we would expect. So those elements kind of lead us to what we call our draft purpose and needs study. And would love your input on this, and if you want to have some conversations. But really what we saw is 3 different main criteria for what we want to address. One is safety. We want to enhance roadway safety to reduce the number of severe crashes, particularly at some of those substandard curves and intersections. Connectivity. We want to improve connectivity to key regional destinations for all the communities along the corridor. This was a big factor in why this was a priority for a lot of folks in the county 2 years ago, was the economic impact and getting an alternative route that is reliable and safe to get you to 435. So that was one of those aspects in there, and there's a couple different ways we measure that. And then modernization, that final purpose, to modernize the roadway that supports future growth of the region and bring it to current standards. So that, kind of that, we can pause if anyone has any questions, or if that's intuitive to you, or want to go in. This is where we had a lot of back and forth with, we met with the Port Authority earlier today and had some good conversations here too.
I'm good for now.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So let's talk next steps. This is our second meeting today and second of 5 meetings that we're going to have with local officials to kind of brief them up on this. This corridor goes through the county. The Port Authority has been a big component and has a lot of say on this. The city of Leavenworth, the city of Lansing, and Wyandotte County. So we'll be meeting with each of those groups, most of them this week, and then right after Thanksgiving with the city of Lansing. Following that, and what we hear from the different communities, we'll be regrouping with KDOT. And then in the first part of the year, we're going to come out with an open house and start talking about some different options or alternatives that meet that purpose and need that everybody identifies. When we hear from them, we will come back with what is that preferred alternative and present again to you all to gain your input and to gain your thoughts on that. So that's a quick presentation for you. Happy again to dig into any details or any other questions you might have.
So in
And we've got-
January, you're gonna have, like, the community can come out, like the people that live on that road?
Yeah, so January, February, the date hasn't been set yet.
Okay.
Sometimes we want to avoid Super Bowls. I'm not sure right now if
That's
that's the
right.
case.
Don't say that, don't say that.
Jinx it.
Don't jinx it. Okay.
Well, I mean, I know that's an awful road. It's called Dead Man's Curve for a reason, but it has been. And I know that one curve, it banks the wrong way. It does. And so it's hard to keep control of your car when you're going around at any speed.
Yeah.
But I think, I know what the Port Authority was wanting today, probably to, this, by straightening it out or upgrading it or whatever, by being able to have that more of a direct way to get to 435 for our businesses, that would help our business park immensely, I think, and everybody else's too.
Any other questions?
No.
I don't really take that road very often because it's,
Well, so I mean, this is an opportunity. So this is the second time I've heard this presentation today,
Yeah.
but as part of the Port Authority, everybody in that room really emphasized that they wanted the focus to be south of McIntyre, to focus on the economic portion of things, but we know that the dangerous part of the road is actually north of McIntyre.
Yeah.
So I think it's for you all to consider, since the part of the highway that belongs to Leavenworth is on the north side, the dangerous side, it's worth, I think, providing whether or not you would agree with the consensus of the rest of the county on that's what you think the priority should be, or if that focus should be more on the safety aspect of it, that what appears to be the current focus. But the Port Authority representatives made it clear that they would rather it be focused more on economic development side of things than the safety of the road.
Did they say
Safety
why?
of the road.
Just because of economics?
Well, because, understandably, they would like to see corridor connections between either I-70 or 435. And expanding K-5 to meet that demand would do that, in theory. I think the kind of the concept behind the original project was safety issues, but they see an opportunity here for funding to expand the road to make it a more economic development viable corridor. The conversation also came up of if that were the case, then would all of these various governing agencies be willing to contribute funding to make that happen? Because the $39 million isn't gonna get you very far when you're trying to do that. So those are all, I mean, if the scope of the project is going to expand, then someday somebody's gonna be knocking on our door asking for a check. So I think it's important for you all to consider that and how you would like to provide comment on this project on whether you agree with that or not.
When you talk about south, you're talking about McIntyre?
South of McIntyre.
South of McIntyre.
Yeah.
So what's our portion, right by, the
Yeah, so
VA?
I think we've kind of got along the CoreCivic Bend and then,
This is the map, actually, it's one of your slides.
Yeah, back behind, it curves back
So,
behind the DA.
when the National Cemetery came and talked to us about that curve, this
Yes.
would be,
is that Dead Man's Curve? Is that what they're
no,
talking
that's
about?
not
Okay.
it.
No, not that
It's
curve.
further.
So, but yeah, I mean, the National Cemetery has approached us, that's
Yes.
correct, and they have people that run off the road there frequently.
Yeah,
Um,
and hit, yeah.
Yeah, and hit
They
tombstones.
should have figured
so.
and hit the tombstones and it's a
Yeah.
mess.
I do anything I can to not drive on 5.
Yeah, I don't really drive 5 just
I
because
won't
it is,
drive.
it's so,
Greg likes to practice his cop driving over there, and
He does?
I refuse to ride with him when he does that.
Yeah, what's
Probably not a bad decision.
he's not
It is a
very-
unique, and we do get a lot of people drive that for enjoyment because of the curve.
Yeah,
Again, the motorcycles, and
Yeah.
we've clocked speeds, we did some speed studies of pushing 100 miles an hour of some vehicles.
On that road, oh, wow.
yeah, I believe it,
Yeah, I believe it
especially
too.
motorcycles, yeah. I just, like I said, I avoid it.
Me too.
I don't know when the last time I've been out.
Motorcycles and other sport drivers, they do not like you to do the speed limit there at all. They just consider you an obstacle in the way.
I was driving on it today and had a Camaro or something like that come up on me almost instantly. So, yeah, it was,
Yeah, the sports
So
cars
Scott,
like
we
to drive
looking
it.
for consensus?
Well, I think they're looking for input from
Yeah.
us, from you all as a governing body on my understanding from the approach currently is to focus on safety improvements on the road.
Yeah.
Continue that.
The Leavenworth Port Authority and representatives from the county and people like that said that they would rather it be more of an economic, not that they're anti-safety, but that they would rather it be more of a economic development focus south of McIntyre where we
Yeah.
have fewer incidents. And so I just thought, since they're looking for input, this would be a good opportunity for you all as a governing body to provide Leavenworth's opinion on that.
I guess the only feedback I have is the safety
Safety.
from, right there at the VA, because that's really the only portion that is ours.
Right.
And they brought us pictures, we met with the National Cemetery, and they brought us pictures of wreck after wreck after wreck going over that turn. So they might be somebody that you want to go talk to.
Yeah.
The National Cemetery right there.
be happy to do that. Do you all have a
We do,
contact?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Would
VA
love
director
to
you
hear
can
that.
talk to.
I'm sure they
Dead
help
and
you with the
hurt
right of way stuff
people
too.
Yeah,
don't drive down the southern part of it either, because they don't drive down any of it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would be open to both, kind of looking at both options a little bit more detail, because I mean, if you could kind of split the difference, improve some safety and potentially, anybody can talk about economic impact, what that could mean. That's all pie in the sky, who knows? But there's not a lot of detail on that right now. So I don't know, I've heard a lot of different things on opening up, excuse me, faster access to like KCI and things like that, but I don't know, I just don't have enough information yet. So I'm kind of in the middle on that.
Yep.
So one of the things in the conclusion of our report is we're gonna have some sort of implementation plan. So that's
Yeah,
throughout the
look
life
forward
of the
to that.
project, we'll be getting input from everybody and kind of prioritizing what we'll spend our money on.
Yes.
You know, if we get a lot of money or if we get a local community that wants to help support this, then we'll prioritize that. And at the end of around March time, we'll have that better defined, so.
Yep.
Could be a lot of safety stuff, could be a corridor, just depends on what money is available.
And it could be multiple projects at the end of the
Could
day
be
too.
multiple
So
projects.
that's
Probably
not, this is a long corridor,
Yeah,
Right.
sure, it is.
so.
Good, I'm glad to see you're looking at it.
Yeah.
That's
I like the data,
on
though.
the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. 3 accidents a month on average. I had a friend who was in a pretty bad accident.
I think all of us probably know somebody that has had accidents
Probably
there.
so.
All right,
I know I
Trevor,
have.
you're up. Golf cart use on public streets presentation.
I'm curious on this one.
Me too.
Many bikes.
So you have a golf cart, Trevor?
I do not have a golf cart. I do have a sport car.
So you're just talking about, so our,
Stay off of
Don't go on
Highway
Highway
5.
5 with that sports car.
to make it clear,
That's what I was like, don't say
we are not
this.
making a recommendation here
No,
one
we're
way or
just
the
learning
other.
about
We are
it.
just providing information on how it could look or the things for you all to consider, but we are not making a positive or negative recommendation today. This is just, here's what it would look like.
How did it
What
come on?
prompted
Look at
it?
that.
Yeah, what prompted
No,
it?
Scott, that's it, you're riding it.
Oh, thanks for that.
Say Camp Leavenworth prompted it?
No, not Camp Leavenworth, no.
How did it come up?
There was a little bit of resident interest in it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty informal, and I think it was just kind of requested as to how that could look or how it looks in other cities, but
Okay.
that picture's from Camp Leavenworth, I think that's where.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, to my knowledge, or at least to what I had access to, that's the only picture of a golf cart on City
awesome.
Street, so.
That's a perfect picture for your presentation.
Yeah.
My legs, like half the photo.
So yeah, basically what I'll be going through is going to be the Kansas statute that kind of covers golf cart access on city streets. And then kind of walk through like peer cities. I think I looked at cities within 25 to 60,000 people population wise as to what they allow or don't allow as far as golf carts. And then just some things that kind of crossed my mind is big considerations to keep in mind if it were to be considered here. And then just regulations that I found in cities that do allow golf carts, and again, just the feasibility of if it were to exist here. So Kansas State Statute 815-108 basically just lays out the groundwork of if they were to be allowed, the rules that you would have to abide by. So it implements like speed limits on roads they're allowed, which is like 30 miles an hour or less. They're allowed to cross intersections of roads that go faster. But really the operation of them is just implemented to daylight hours. So sunrise to sunset, you're allowed to impose additional requirements to them, but you have to follow like the minimum guidelines of it, so.
What if they have lights?
If they have lights, I think that could be factored into some kind of amendment, but. So for a pure city comparison, I was very surprised actually that Lennox allows them, but I do think that they're very strict on what roads you can drive them on.
Yeah, I've
like
never seen one down
Neighborhoods,
there.
in the local
neighborhood
neighborhoods,
usage.
yeah.
Just I did find that
Wow.
they are more common in smaller cities, so like those within 5 to 10,000 people.
I could see that.
Do those not allow them specifically, or they just don't have,
They don't allow them.
okay. So they have a
So
statute that says no?
the only right of access for residents to them is if there were amendment to basically our governing regulation as to whether they are or not allowed. The common or like what's set is that they're not allowed.
So when you guys adopted the standard traffic ordinance, you made golf carts illegal because that's part of the standard traffic ordinance.
it, okay.
So in order to make them legal, you have to carve that out of the traffic ordinance.
So 3 cities have done that so far.
And that's just based on 25 to 60,000 people.
Okay.
As I was saying, like a lot of smaller cities, like lesser than that, it's way more common, so. But just the common practices in other cities, or again, street eligibility, so operation of golf carts is restricted to roads that are 30 miles an hour or less. Hours of operation, like I said, it's sunrise to sunset, unless there's lights, but I believe that would have to be included in the amendment to the STO. And then equipment requirements, I think that is basically up to the commission discretion as well, as far as seatbelts, safety requirements. So if you need there to be turn signals, anything along those lines, that's an additional amendment or an additional sentence in the amendment. But what I did see, driver requirements, it was limited to people that hold a state driver's license. So it's not like, where I grew up, I got a farm permit at 14. You have to have an actual state license, which you get at 16.
Right.
And all traffic rules apply to it, so you can't drink and drive, you can't drive on the sidewalks, you can't reckless drive, all of that. They're
So
treated like,
A
sorry.
16-year-old could drive this to high school?
Technically, if the roads to get to the high school
If they're
were-
road, yeah.
Insurance, that was another one that was kind of different and like that I saw city to city. So some cities would require you to present insurance for the vehicle. Other cities were, if you had general car insurance, it was okay. A lot of that came at a permitting process, which was another thing. Some cities charged for it, some cities didn't. Some cities made you do like a vehicle inspection with permitting as that came along. And the timeframes of that really just depended on the city as well. But so our street context, basically we have arterial roads in red, collector roads in blue, and local roads in green. The local roads represent more of your neighborhoods. The collector roads are more of your really through traffic, and the arterial roads are major traffic points. The speed limits on these for us kind of vary in terms of 30 to 45 miles an hour or 20 to 30, things like that. So I didn't scope out like an actual map of what our speed limits were. I wanted to get direction first because it could take a little bit, right? But again, I think it's important to look at like what roads could be accessible and what roads could be passable, because when you're thinking about like routes and stuff that the drivers of the golf carts would be taking, would there be any actual connectivity spot from the neighborhood to the downtown or the neighborhood to Home Depot or things like that? So as far as enforcement capacity, this is a big consideration too. And again, I want to say like this is a general overview, so if it was something to where consideration was moved to a further direction, I would definitely work closer with the police department and get their input on a lot of this. But what I found in a lot of cities was that unlicensed or underage drivers were probably the most common concern and part of enforcement as far as ticketing and as well as prohibited streets. So I think education goes a long way with that, and just kind of like mapping out areas and really putting across to the public where you can and can't drive. And then again, operation after dark, or as far as like the vehicle equipment, headlights, turn signals, things like that. Again, there's kind of ambiguity within that. So if that was a requirement, daylight or not, that would kind of be up to whatever's placed in the amendment. But lack of insurance, things like that, I think it's really just stressing what the rules would be if there was an amendment to what was adopted in the STO. But our primary enforcement would be the police department. It's what's commonly seen in other cities. I think here it's important to consider that we're a little limited on staffing as far as our traffic department. So policy design and education would really be a key part to not overwhelming staff. I think what I also read was that complaint-driven enforcement was a really big part. So, hey, these kids are driving a golf cart down the street. Are they allowed to do that? Things like that. It'd be a lot of calls to officers. But again, I think at the beginning, at least from what I heard from other cities or read in other cities, I think the initial stages of it are really the most burdensome. Once the rules are kind of learned or warnings are given out, it does soften out a little bit, but then the administrative processes are also another consideration. So again, it's amendment discretion as to whether permits are required or not, if there's any kind of fee that goes along with that. And what I'd seen from other cities, it ranged from about $25 to $100, and it was an annual fee. It kind of varied on, you got your fee this day, so you'll get your fee or you'll get your permit that day next year.
Do they have to license them, like license plates?
That would be what it would. Like, that would be what it would be,
okay.
yeah.
So they wouldn't have a license?
Yeah, so usually it would come along with like a sticker or
okay.
something like that. But not necessarily required. That would be the minimum state requirement, would be that you just have to know that that vehicle is registered in your system. So a fee isn't necessary, but depending on the amount of staff time it would take, it'd be a good consideration.
So do you think more people would get golf carts so they wouldn't have to pay property taxes on their cars?
I think you would. I
mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to license it.
Well, but where are you gonna go of any place of value around town that you don't have to get on a road that's got a higher speed limit?
Right.
That's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I go over here to see Joe next door. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I see them in Lansing a lot. Do they not? Do they have one? They must allow them.
I don't know that Lansing does.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just the.
Maybe it's just people doing it.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't see this being realistic. I just, there are golf cart communities, and I'm sorry, Trevor, you probably got words to say.
No, it's
but
okay.
those are golf cart communities,
Right.
Everybody knows it's 25 miles an hour or less.
Yes.
And your shops
Right.
are around. All these are in the 25 mile an hour zone. But that's not Leavenworth.
Yeah, those are for people
Yeah,
who
I
can't
think
get a car license anymore.
It was in the paper tonight.
We used to have a
like,
couple of them downtown that did that.
I've had a couple people ask me about it, and I know people call you. I would like to see what I'd have to have more people say, I want this.
Yeah, I'd have to have a real drive for
And
it.
it was on it's the front page of the paper, so I think if people will want it, they'll reach out.
Yeah.
This
See
isn't
how
the
that
front page
compares
of
to
the
people
paper
who say,
for-
I
get
know.
rid of that,
No,
don't
I'm
even
not-
think about it.
That's what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it was today. Yeah.
So, but like, Trevor, how many people reached out to get this, for you to do all the research on it?
So actually, when I was interning in the city that I was in last year, I had done a lot of research on it because they were thinking about passing it, and that was in Eudora.
Did they
So-
pass it?
They did not pass
They
it. And a lot of that had to do with K-10 going through the city, and it was in between
In
the high
Eudora,
school.
I mean, that is, ghost town.
Smaller, but I know Tonganoxie allows golf carts.
I can see it in
And
Tonga.
Tongue, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're
Tonganoxie.
growing.
Yes, yeah. So
And they have that
it's
big highway right through.
it's something that could be considered every year whenever adopting the.
But really, like, how many people did reach out about
In
this?
Leavenworth, Lansing, in
For
Leavenworth.
Leavenworth.
For Leavenworth,
Has
there
anybody
were-
reached out to you and asked
Oh, yeah.
to do
Yeah.
this that
They
live
reached
in
out to me.
Leavenworth?
yes, yeah, there were a couple people that had reached out, and
There's one guy that's really,
frequently,
Yeah.
yes.
there's one guy who was really interested in it.
What part of the city?
I didn't ask.
I believe he was more southwestern. I'm thinking of
Okay.
Kansas context. So,
Esplanad's a good street for 'em.
Yeah.
I think people are interested in it. I don't know. I would like to hear from more people. If they,
I noticed one of the bullets you had in, I think it was just the last slide, talk about confusion, may create confusion. Yeah, I already have had, because somebody heard about this.
right,
This guy already said to me, well, you're gonna do it for electric bicycles too?
yeah,
What's the law there?
yes.
Well, that was I
Four-wheelers.
heard that on the radio today. They were
What's that
talking
mean?
about
Electric
electric
bike? What do you mean?
bicycles in Kansas City.
Electric bikes.
you can't have electric bikes?
Electric
I don't
bikes
know
are
if you can or
driving
not.
faster than 30 miles an hour. And so kids ride electric bikes, and they were having issues down there, so they're looking at how they want to license that.
How do you regulate that?
How you
Yeah.
really regulate it.
Well, I mean, you could get with,
They were saying that was a lot more dangerous.
oh gosh, Brian, with all his information he's got on all the speed limits across town, and you could throw all that into ChatGPT with all of our businesses and find out exactly in
Just
10
map it
seconds
out, yeah.
who's actually really going to be impacted. Are you going to be able to buy groceries? Can you go anywhere else? You know, you're not going to be able to go hardly to the high school. I mean, maybe 10 kids could, maybe that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's realistic. I mean, not for Leavenworth. That's not our community, and I don't know.
Have you
More accidents
even
would
addressed
happen.
this to the police department yet?
No, I haven't, and that's what
I
I
would
want
be
to
afraid
make clear
to also.
too. It's definitely
Yeah.
like something that I want to, if it were to move forward as far as like,
Yeah.
we could consider it, I would
Yeah, we definitely
definitely
have to have
loop
input.
them in on most of it, because I think their input would definitely mean
One or two
the
people
most.
out of 38,000, it doesn't even warrant what you've just spent your time
Yeah.
doing.
Well, we'll
I
see.
agree.
Let's see who reaches out to you. I mean,
So far, nobody.
I had 2 today.
Yeah,
Well, it's because it was in the
It
paper
was in the
today.
paper.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
but, yeah,
I
that's,
can see you're pretty tricked out.
I appreciate you doing the work on it.
Yes, thank you for doing all this work.
Make whatever work.
a lot
We
of
still have
it really
lights
was
out. Yeah,
previous, it was kind of just
I mean, if
shaping
you
it
go down
into
to
our
Florida in
context,
the villages,
so it wasn't
yeah,
a
they've got,
crazy amount.
I mean, flipping golf carts that are 6 people long and
Yeah.
have all kinds of stuff, doors on them,
I
and
can see you one with
you
one.
name it. But this isn't the villages.
Ed, I can see you driving one around town.
You think I what?
I can see you driving one around town.
Not a
How do
chance.
you get to
I
downtown?
would be afraid. I'd be afraid to drive one of those things around
Well,
town.
there used to be a guy that lived downtown, I won't say his name because you all will know him, but when he couldn't drive a car anymore, he tried driving his golf cart, but he got a few DUIs and his family kind of had to put a stop to that.
That's the other thing,
was
guys
going
that
to the
drive
bars.
golf carts, they get kind of relaxed. Yeah, let's have a couple of beers and go over to Joe's.
Because we used to doing that at the golf course, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear you can drive golf carts around Leavenworth now? You know, I think even over the bridge too. You know, yeah.
Well, you can't because that's a state highway.
Well, they may not know that. I don't know.
They may not
They
care
may
if they know
not
that.
know that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Great presentation, Trevor.
All right.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
thank
I
you.
think that was all I had, so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We just decided you're done.
No, that's good. I appreciate that.
Back away slowly.
Okay.
Well, I just say if you are out there and you are interested, reach out to the commissioners. If you're not, then silence
Tell us all.
volumes.
Silence is golden.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
6 and Walnut stormwater discussion.
Brought me down today, I could do the work today.
Yeah, you brought your heavies. Hello.
Again, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Last month in October, the commission did approve a contract with Lexico to repair a failed arch under 6 and Chestnut. One of the questions from that meeting was whether this was going to address the large sinkhole on a neighboring property. And while the answer to that is no, I just want to let you know staff is working to address that sinkhole along with other issues along this whole watershed. Just for quick background, the city's stormwater conveyance system uses a variety of methods to capture and convey stormwater runoff. This includes the curb and gutter along the streets, open ditches, and enclosed systems. Enclosed systems in Leavenworth may be our stone and brick arches, reinforced concrete pipe, plastic pipe, and corrugated metal piping. Runoff does contain a variety of pollutants from yard chemicals, petroleum products and oils and fuel, either spilled or used in construction, along with our road salts. And while they help melt snow and ice in the winter, when they sit in metal pipes, it creates a problem. As the conveyance system ages, failures do start to accelerate. Our highest failure rates that we typically see are in corrugated metal pipe. That was used all over town for a lot of years. The bottoms of the pipes tend to rust out and create holes.
where material is used to backfill those pipes actually gets sucked into those holes and then washed downstream. What happens when you lose that backfill material, you get voids above it, and they may be there for quite a while, we don't even know about it. And all of a sudden, a sinkhole develops. It can be small, and it can all of a sudden go very large. This evening, we do have Justin Stewart, he's our project manager, and Mike Stephen, our deputy director, here to talk through stormwater projects that have or are occurring along this watershed, along with some upcoming repairs.
So along this corridor, just between Spruce to the north, down 6th Avenue, we had a failure in the alley right next to the Leavenworth Baptist Church, and that was repaired in 2020 at a cost of $135,000. And a second part of that project was a rusted pipe down here. It's now HDPE, and that was a storm sinkhole in the front yard of this 715 6th Avenue.
And that was actually a 2025 project, right?
No, this was in 2020.
Okay.
That's when we did that section. Since then, we've gotten 6th Avenue and Chestnut, and again, these are sinkholes that appear on the ground when a citizen would call us. The property owner right next to it, to the east, at 731, called us and said, hey, I see a sinkhole forming right at where I tend to mow. And the first thing we do is we go out and we look at the sinkhole. I climbed down into the creek and looked underneath to where it was at, and there were multiple large voids that were present at that time. We immediately shut the road down, shut it off completely until we could get design and funding into place. That project is now, it says out to bid. It is under contract with Lexico to repair that. We plan to start after structures show up in mid-December to fix that project. Earlier this year and at the end of last year, we found that there was some sinking around a junction box and an area drain just north of Spruce right here. And in looking at that, the corrugated pipe was, again, it was rusted through in the bottom and starting to collapse the road. So we put together a quick project to address that, and we found multiple defects in the pipe. At that time, that was a Lina Weaver construction. So recently, sorry about that, I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of showed up. 6th Avenue and Walnut, and again, these things just show up. Usually the property owners say, hey, we see something, we go down and we take a look, and it's sometimes amazing, sometimes it's not. In this particular one, in the past, somebody, more than likely a city contractor, extended the pipe with a corrugated metal pipe that the rust has gotten to the bottom of it, but it was backfilled with construction materials, either bricks, buildings, whatever they had. They just dump it in, cover everything up, and people go away. And so the first thing we do is we go out there and look at it and secure the hole and start talking with contractors about what it's going to cost to do the repairs and what are the short-term, long-term repairs. After talking to the fine gentlemen at Lexico and Lina Weaver, they both came in with pretty much a bandage, but we're looking at anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 just to bandage it. And we are not talking about looking at the stone arch, which is actually underneath the street. This is just the pipe to the north which is the corrugated metal pipe that the bottom is rusted out. And then looking to the south where there is some erosion issues, getting closer to two of the structures that are on the south end of that pipe. So that's just in this simple watershed, and this is a very large watershed. The beginning starts at Ohio Street, west of Broadway, and it travels all the way north, and this is towards the bottom. We're about a block and a half from 3 Mile Creek. The next section that goes under Baker Construction, that section of the system, we believe actually goes underneath his building. So we're considering our priorities, our funding priorities, our issues with safety and property damage. And we're making progress, but it's a slow process, and there you have it.
Is this where the people came and spoke at this particular one?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
One of them, but
One
not,
of
not.
The other was like 3400 Iowa.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Oh, yeah, okay.
we do have, I've put together a lot of different pictures just to kind of take a look at some things. This is a 1941 photo that shows that at that time it was mostly an open ditch, and a little bit of history just about 6th Avenue and Walnut. The original plat came in about 1859. That's when they set forth the roads and what they were going to look at. We have no records of when they actually built the stone arches. We figure it was somewhere 1860 to 1880, where they would just line the bottom of the creek and make a stone arch, but it was mostly open. This is this is my pipe section through here, and this is an open ditch right here. And it was probably open very close to the road surfaces. And then we're going to move on. This is what it looks like in 1966, and you can see that there's a little bit of fill here. Somebody's kind of leveled this out for possible development. This is 2006, and again, it's been leveled out even further, and I personally do not know when all of these things happen. We're just looking back in what records we do have about this system to talk about what it looks like through the years. This is from Stantec Street Views. We hire a company to do our road ratings. They also do a kind of a street view similar to Google. But this is what 6th Avenue and Walnut looked like in 2023 using our Stantec. Sorry, these are kind of out of order. This is today's 2025 showing our pipe structure. This is street view, and this is 2008. Everything looks fine. The pipe is probably already losing the bottom at this point. And this is 17 years ago. Today we have a sinkhole. This is 2013. No change. We never see the change until it happens. This is 2024. This is like November. Still, we do not see anything on the surface. And I think Mr. Rutledge called us in October, November? No, earlier, September. Right. And there's a sinkhole, and it's a large sinkhole. This has been happening for multiple years, and we just never know about it. Again, 2022. These are a couple of pictures showing some of the other issues around. This is the Sieber house, I believe, where they talk about the erosion next to the back corner of their property. This is a small deck, and this is the corner that she talks about. My pipe lays somewhere in here, probably 15, 16 feet deep. Part of the issues are the downspouts in these locations attribute to the erosion because the heavy downfalls, it just dumps right off the corner and it's very steep. This is the property across to the east. And notice that we have a lot of trash and slab concrete. When they use slab concrete, it really doesn't do the same as small particles or 6 inches or less, and so we get weird runoff that tends to bridge over. You lose the soil underneath, and you have the concrete slabs there until then the concrete slabs start falling in. This is the looking north from the south end of the pipe. Oh, sorry. Here, I'll just do this.
Siebert House, that who you said, is to the left in that picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can just, there
Let me turn that off. Let me do this.
Should be able to click your stab it too.
you go.
Yeah, and so you can see that there is a lot
Is that a
of
pumpkin?
just general debris.
Okay, yeah.
pumpkin.
Yeah, that is a pumpkin that somebody just throws down in the
So
creek.
now
That's-
next year you'll have pumpkins growing there.
But again, it's just generalized fill. We don't know where it comes from. Sometimes the homeowners do this because they think that's actually going to help the situation. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This is looking inside of the pipe, and what I wanted you to notice here is this section is the stone arch, and we can see we're developing a hole. Now, we are not exactly in the street, but we are very close to the street at this point. More than likely, it's underneath the curb. And I can kind of zoom in. This hole is probably 2.5 or 3 feet deep, and it's 4 foot tall, and it's probably 8 foot around. The second thing to notice in this picture, that is the other end of the pipe. That's the light coming from the north end of the pipe. And the reason it is small is because it's probably 95% blocked. Because the pipe has failed and all the debris comes down into our system.
Wow.
More shots. This is what my stone arch looks like on the inside. The things to notice here is at some point, somebody came in and set, I'm sorry?
That's the north end.
This
so
is
they
the
know
north end. They set that corrugated metal pipe in and you can barely see the top right here. That's the top of the pipe. And so this 72-inch pipe, which is 6 foot tall, you can see 6 inches of it. So this trash is 6 feet deep right here. But they've set the pipe, they poured a concrete wall, and then they've bricked over the top of that.
They really reduce the volume of water that can go through, let alone the blockage, the pipe size. Somebody just put a small pipe in there and
So this photo shows this is looking south to the concrete pipe where we get in. And again, you'll see that the same thing happened. Somebody had bricked up over the pipe and set that pipe in there. More than likely it was a city contract. I have not found where that contract is and who did all of that work. It could be 40 or 50 years old. This shows right here on top of it, this is my next sinkhole. It's not here today, but this is where it starts. More than likely, it is starting to fall off. It's losing some brick. There might be some animals that are using this as a den, but it goes back up and in 4 or 5 feet, and we won't see it for a long time. That's our main inlet off of, this is again looking south. This is our curb inlet, and these are the 2 houses. That pipe runs right next to these big trees right here. So any fix would affect the trees being absolutely pulled out, and we would have to do something. Our issues and constraints tend to be that I have to be 16, 17 feet deep with a big pipe. My ditch is probably going to be 15 feet wide, and I probably have 30 or 40 feet in between the two houses and their basements.
Oh, my goodness,
It can be done, it's not going to be easy.
yeah.
So,
Not gonna be cheap either.
just for time's sake, what do you need from us tonight? Are you just showing this, or do we have to like kind of pick where we're gonna spend?
Just tonight is just basically kind of an update
Oh, okay.
of some of the issues in this area.
Wow.
Right,
So you have to go through and kind of decide.
right.
Right, we
Wow.
look at a
What's
lot
the
of factors on, is this a today problem, is it a tomorrow problem? Are we, is it property damage, is it somebody getting hurt, or is it in an open field?
Right.
Where, yes, we understand that there's an issue, but there's not enough funding to do all of our projects, and so we prioritize our projects depending on several different factors. And again, we're just talking about this system and these issues right here in this system.
Someday soon, we are going to have a comprehensive stormwater conversation.
That's what I was thinking, like just seeing this, and
Yeah,
there's
so I mean,
probably multiple of these.
One thing that we've run into quite a bit, and you saw the photos there, is whose responsibility is an open drainage ditch to? If there was an easement made for a drainage ditch whenever the subdivision was constructed, and you bought a house next to that, is it the city's responsibility to control the erosion if it's within the drainage easement, right? And what I think a lot of property owners don't necessarily understand is a drainage easement can encroach upon your property line. So what's considered the acceptable level of erosion could be in your backyard and still be.
I understand that.
And swallow your fence, it could swallow your fence, your doghouse or whatever, but if it's in that easement, is it the city's responsibility to correct that? And so I think that's a conversation we need to have, and, as Justin has already mentioned, one project eats up a quarter to a third of our annual stormwater budget, and we're talking about 4 properties on one branch of a stormwater system, and we've got sinkholes in at least 3 major branches throughout the city. And as Justin mentioned, we've got sinkholes in the city right now that we don't know about.
Right.
And that are just gonna keep opening up, and so the real answer is, it is a funding issue. It is a major funding issue. We have a list of over 100 projects. We do 4 a year, and we learn about 6 to 8. So, that's a losing proposition.
Right,
Yeah.
so we need to,
So,
so I think you're right, I think we need to have just to talk about this.
You could probably spend $30 million around town and it still wouldn't be,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
be a start, but yeah.
And we have things like on this project here, if we can save the pipe in between the houses, we can save the trees. We have to work from that inlet the other way and fix that. I mean, there's options that we look at. The sinkhole that we've talked about, that we had an estimate of, somewhere between 250 and 300. That's to replace the corrugated metal pipe.
Yes, it's
But
just
not the
to
arch.
extend the corrugated metal pipe and extend the concrete pipe, but the main arch would remain.
Right.
And so if you needed to replace the main arch, you're looking at possibly another 200,000
Can you do
on
that
top.
spinning concrete thing again?
No.
This
No?
would be
Oh.
removed and replaced.
And this one, it would make more sense, although funding is limited, to replace the arch while we're there digging. A lot of
Yeah,
companies are.
it does
Yeah.
make more
That
sense.
doesn't mean you guys have to make that decision, maybe we can't do that. If we ain't got the money, we ain't got the money.
Right,
We can patch it. For one, we definitely need to open the north end so water will go
Right.
through it.
yeah, definitely.
Because that causes water to back up on the south end, which attributes to more erosion because you got water sitting there pooling and it can't get out. Because it flows to the north of 3 Mile Creek, so.
And there are a lot of grant options potentially on the table, Brian. I know you're always looking at those, but any money from the state that, you have to get into a pipeline, haha, and,
There's not a lot out there. from
Old city
the
grants?
citizen's perspective.
yeah.
We got feelers and we got, KDOT has some people that contact us pretty regular that monitor grants.
The infrastructure
And
hub.
we've told them we need stormwater grants and they're just not a lot.
Was this, I know this was probably put in 40 years ago or more for those metal pipes. And were there a lot of cities, do you know, that have done this, and is everybody having the same problem?
Yes.
Or is it just us trying to be cheap?
No. Everybody has the same problem. Most cities have actually gone to these under streets, concrete pipe.
Concrete, yeah.
But, there was a point in time when we had the stone arches, which is what was available 150 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of communities put the corrugated metal pipe under the streets. I mean, you get 40 or 50 years, but when it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
And so most communities I've ever been associated with have changed the rules to a minimum concrete on the pipe, because that should get you, 80, 90 years.
Right.
Wow.
And they also have a corrugated metal pipe that's called aluminized, coated, and it actually performs better. I still wouldn't say it's a total fix, but a lot of people use it because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't use it under a road. The city, pretty much anything new now under a road's concrete pipe.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Our problem is exacerbated though, in that we are older
Right.
and we're at the bottom of the hill. So we get
Yes.
everybody's water,
Yes, we do.
so.
I just wanted to give you just kind of an overview.
Yeah, this is really
We
good.
are working in the area with Jeff Rutledge's area. And that's the area that had that 250 to 300,000 price range. We want to make sure we get some work done there, hopefully before the spring rains come.
And I appreciate the pictures. That makes it,
Yeah.
for me, I can see it, understand it better. Hope you don't see anything too crazy when you get down there, but, but I appreciate that.
Well, there was a deceased raccoon in there with us.
Oh,
Hey, yeah, he didn't make it.
I know you're gonna say deceased wife.
Yeah, I haven't been that lucky.
Thank you, guys.
thank you so much, guys.
You bet.
All right, Scott, do you have anything else for us?
I don't think so. Oh, except for, check your emails, but December 15th is when we're going to, so Griff, Ed, and Jermaine need not apply, but December 15th, we're doing the new commissioner orientation. It'll be an all-day thing. We're sending out, David will come and do Coma Core training. We're going to do tours of city facilities if you guys are interested in those. And then we are inviting our state representatives and state senator, we don't know if they're gonna come yet, but inviting them to see if they wanna come and provide legislative updates for all that. So that is Monday, December 15th, kind of an all-day thing. So I'll leave it up to you two on how much of that you guys wanna be a part of, but, we'll also do an executive session to update on a couple of matters.
On that day?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be a full day. Do we get to tell the legislators our legislative priorities that day? We have gone over that by then?
When is that day?
Probably not, yeah.
Oh,
Not yet, but what I will do is I will send you guys the one that I did last year.
Okay,
It
that kinda
mostly
gives
has
us-
not changed, so.
all right. Thank you. Griff, you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, Mayor's Christmas tree lighting is Friday.
Oh, Friday, yeah.
Friday, yeah.
Thank you.
The parade and the Christmas tree, but then also, anybody with kids or grandkids,
I got both.
Santa, breakfast with Santa's on the 6th of December.
And the parade is sold out. They can't take any more. There's no more room.
Really?
In the
Yeah.
parade?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That's like the first time ever.
I
That's
know.
great.
That's great. No, I don't have anything. I'm concerned about the
I mean,
streets, but
Ed?
I don't have anything.
But
Do you have anything else?
I just
to-
did.
Okay, good.
Man, I see y'all at the parade, I'll be on the back of the fire truck.
Are you gonna do that again? All right. Yep, I'll see everybody at
I
the.
might jump up there with you.
Might be kind of chilly out there. It might be raining that
With
night.
that, I'll
If
take a
it's rain, I'll
motion
be
to
in there.
adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. All in favor? Oh, we don't need that?
Aye.
We're done. That's right.
Yeah, we don't have
We're
to.
done.
We don't have to.
Appreciate